Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
Michelle Barnard joining us here as our professional of the year. She's the CEO of MB Guiding Light LLC, based out of Chicago, Illinois. And we're going to talk to her more today about her company that focuses on wellness, lifestyle change, personal development, and spiritual development, and so much more. So, welcome to the show. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thanks for having me again.
Pleasure to have you back. mbguidinglight.com. That's the website, right?
That is absolutely correct. Yes.
Well, tell us a little bit about what you offer to start.
Absolutely. So I actually offer a three-pillar comprehensive program tailored to the individual at where they are, and I meet them where they are versus where I would like them to be or where they would already want to be. And I focus on areas of professional development, personal development, as well as spiritual development, and having a cohesiveness between the three so that you can live a whole life. And that's kind of my main focus.
Beautiful. And you do everything from career coaching, personal growth plans, tarot readings, even, and
Yes,
those three key pillars. I know we talked about them before. You really integrate those three fundamentals, right?
correct.
All right. And for today, let's talk by starting off with, what did you want to focus on to start with? Would you mind sharing?
Yeah, so I wanted to dive in deep to the actual program that I offer, and kind of paint a picture as to how they go together, like peanut butter and jelly, and how they, honestly, you can't have one without the other energy. So, for instance, for navigating career development and growth, I kind of look at why you should prioritize your career development. And I focus a lot of times on being self-sufficient. I've always been self-sufficient, and this program is to get individuals less reliant on external things and more reliant on themselves. So I feel like prioritizing career development helps to align you with your personal goals, to actually define what those are, to actually define what your values are, define what your beliefs are. And so you can come out in any situation and communicate with anyone who you are, just based on the fact that you know your minimum, which are your goals and your values and your beliefs. And I feel like prioritizing your career development is also really good about learning, continuous learning, developing your skills and enhancing them beyond just what you already know. And
Mm-hmm.
then it helps to increase your satisfaction with yourself, with your work, and with the things that you want to accomplish in your preferred life. So that's kind of why I feel like prioritizing your career development is incredibly important. And that's kind of where I want to start.
Beautiful. And by the way, I got an email from you, but I don't think it was the right email. It was just,
Oh,
it's kind
no.
of blank. It's just like your introductory email, but nothing's even on it. So I know we have an agenda for today. My apologies, I don't have it. But I'm gonna let you then, lead the conversation.
Okay, absolutely.
Thank
Sure. And
you.
then you're welcome. So one of the questions I had on the preliminary was how does career growth impact adaptability? And I really want to dive into adaptability. The reason why it's important and why it's crucial is because of the different things that are evolving within our own institutions that we live in every single day. The changing landscape of our technology, the changing landscape of our economics shifts and the globalization, and then the gig economy, right? So a lot of people are
Mm-hmm.
doing DoorDash and things of that nature.
So
So
true.
being able
Yes.
to be flexible throughout these changing landscapes, it's it's really important to understand where we've been and where we've come from and where we're going. So, for instance, the fax machine. Who remembers when that was a thing where we were asked to fax something to someone? It's kind of obsolete, right? And so, people that are used to fax machines or a typewriter in the computer age seem to have a harder time transitioning to more the new technology that's coming out. So just having a career coach and focusing on your career development helps you to navigate through these different landscapes, and makes you a lot more less fearful, I guess, when these changes do come to fruition. You have to honestly um, whatever the change that you might need to do, you are well equipped to do it. And the reason why adaptability is also so incredibly important because it builds resilience. It builds your flexibility of thought and action. It helps you to navigate and collaborate better with other people. And it just really makes you a more well-rounded person. And you also gain a lot from it personally. Refine on your own values and your own skills, and then you're able to get better paying jobs, and you get better relationships with people. And I feel that with what I offer is next to none because I've been doing it for 20 years. I honestly myself transitioned from one career industry to another within one interview. So I'm well equipped to help navigate from, okay, I'm currently an accountant, but I really want to be a singer. How do we get there? What steps do we have to take? And that's why a career coach is so incredibly important, especially myself, is because
Mm-hmm.
I am helping you navigate this, build your confidence, and also deal with some other stuff along the way because life isn't linear and the career development program isn't going to be linear. Your personal growth isn't going to be linear. It's more like a jungle gym is how I describe it. And they all these things are intersecting. And so I actually, in the middle of your career development program and plan, I will actually um, deal with your personal issues if they occur. Like I won't just set aside just to talk about your career development. I will talk about your spiritual side if you're dealing with that because it all impacts your career and your finances. And if you know how you are as a person, like who you are and how things trigger you and things like that, it goes into your work life. And if you are able to identify these things in yourself, then you'll be able to have the best outcome when it comes to your development of career aspirations. And your personal development is just going to be an enhanced part of you too. And you just show up in the world better, and then you feel a lot more fulfilled and more satisfied with the choices that you're making, the intentions behind the choices that you're making, because you
Yeah.
feel less um, limited,
Yeah.
so to speak.
Well, thank you. And by the way, let's remind everyone how we can contact you in the meantime.
Absolutely. So I can be contacted directly at michelle@mbguidinglight.com, or you can go to my website, which is also mbguidinglight.com, and you can go to the contact page and it comes directly to me. Or you can call me via my cell phone. Text is available as well. So 773-412-6116. So all those three different ways. And also I have social media,
Yep.
Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, and they're all same name, mbguidinglight.com.
She's empowering, enlightening, uplifting so many of us. And by the way, got to bring up your book, right?
Yes, yes.
Hello. Sorry
Hello.
to interject. I'm not sure what's on the agenda, but that's super important too.
Absolutely. And a lot of the book it talks about, even in relationships in your workplace or in your personal life, it all correlates when it comes to identifying and defining what it is that um, almost conflicts with your values and your goals and your beliefs. So if, say, for instance, for me, I didn't have any real boundaries around how I let people take advantage of me or walk all over me. This is a part of me that needed to recognize that in a partner or a relationship, it could be friend, worker, client, that I needed to have really good established boundaries as far as what I will tolerate and what I wouldn't tolerate, and having to develop that through the hardships of different relationships that I were in the past. I've developed this book so that I can help others navigate through different relationships about specifically the red, yellow, and green flags that show up in a relationship. It could be work, it could be friend, it could be um, um, colleague, what have you. But it's important to recognize your triggers and also what will satisfy your goals, your beliefs, your values, and make you feel safe, right? You want to feel safe and secure in who you are and at all times as best possibly you can. But in order to do that, you have to recognize certain things within others and how it affects you and your values and beliefs and goals. And so I had to learn the hard way that, okay, well, I actually don't like to be um, gaslighted. I don't like that. I want people to actually treat me with respect and things like that. So I had to establish and reestablish boundaries within different relationships. And I wrote the book as honestly a guiding light for myself, but hopefully to help others to be able to guide them through those tough relationships too.
Oh, thank you for sharing that. All right. What else is next on the agenda? Again, mbguidinglight.com.
Yes.
What else did you want to share for today?
So I wanted to talk about the the importance of having a career coach. And I wanted to, really hone in on the fact that you don't have to be looking for a job to get a career coach. It helps having a career coach on your side helps you to not have to do the work as far as like, for instance, like your taxes. You go into a tax accountant to do your taxes because you don't want to have to go and learn all the things that are changing within that industry. You just want it done right. And you want it done it quick and fast.
Mm-hmm.
And coming to a career coach is kind of the same thing. You want to rehabilitate your life in a way that you can bring in the financial stability that you prefer. And I can't always say that you desire and that your biggest goals and aspirations will achieve, but the ones that you prefer
Yep.
to live right now in the moment. Um, and so career coaches, obviously finding the right one is going to be important too, knowing their credentials. I actually have, I'm working at a nonprofit organization now that's going to be funding and paying for my certification as a career coach. I have 20 years of experience already locked down behind me in corporate and in nonprofit, and as well as in third party staffing agency recruitment. So I have a lot of knowledge and also education to support my abilities to navigate. And I also have my own experiences that I can share as to how, you to navigate through this career job market um, that we call, some type of structure. Because honestly, the job market is changing right now, and
Yep.
it's really going to be helpful to have somebody that's in an alliance with you that can help support you through all these different changing aspects of the job market. Um, and another aspect of, working with a career coach, they can help you develop your plan. They can help you develop your goals. So you don't have to think about those things. You can just kind of tell them what you want, tell them what you prefer, and they'll make that customized. And like for me, I will do that for you, customize your tailored plan as to how we're going to get to where you want to go and take a step-by-step approach to doing that. So you get really clear about what you want, you get the right direction, you get personalized guidance, and you also develop a skill set, right? And that you didn't have before. And I'm always an advocate for being a forever student and always wanting to, learn more and do more. And so that you can just, like I said, very beginning, be more self-sufficient and less reliant on external factors and external people or just anything that's not within yourself. And then navigating different transitions. So, for instance, like me, I said I went from a third party staffing agency and I transitioned to a career coach at a nonprofit. So, I'm from corporate to nonprofit. And I did it in one interview, one job application. And it's like, yeah, it's simple for me because I have the knowledge. But if you
Got
have the
it.
knowledge too, possibilities are endless, right? You start to remove some of those limitations within getting the life that you prefer. So I'm breaking down barriers with you, as far as strategizing, so you have this smooth transition, so you're not unclear as to what to do. And then also a career coach will keep you accountable so you don't fall off track. It's really helpful to have somebody, just like for me. And for instance, I do not like to go to the gym by myself. But if I had an accountability partner, I would
Oh,
probably go it
yeah.
more often.
It's so
Um,
true.
it really is.
Thank you for sharing that. I would do the same.
So yeah, MB Guiding Light, we offer a lot more than just, telling you you're going to find this job and you're going to have the best life ever. No, it takes work, and I'm willing to stand, foot in foot with you to make
And
it
help
happen.
build that confidence,
That was the last bullet point.
right?
Yes, so yes, confidence is incredibly crucial to this entire process. And you have to want to be curious. You have to want it for yourself. I can't do it for you.
Wow. And by the way, I didn't get the notes until just now from the station. I apologize. I didn't have them earlier. They didn't come through on your email, but can we just back up a second? Yeah,
Absolutely.
because you talked a little before about finances, right? And I think it's
Yes,
something important to all of us to be financially stable, right? And then
correct.
people would say, well, how do you follow through? Some people have this entrepreneurial brain. Some people can work hard, make money. Some people might feel stuck and limited when it comes to finances. How can you, right? Can you help someone go down this path? Could you give us some examples of, how do you create abundance and help people do the same?
That's an excellent question. So, obviously, if you're in the job market and you're looking for a job, you want
Mm-hmm.
to set yourself up for success by not limiting yourself on what you think you can achieve. Um, Having an I can or I can learn mindset is going to be incredibly and crucial for you to get a job or a career that actually fulfills your needs and wants. And I think that there's obviously that room for advancement and getting increasing your job. But for me, how do I create that? I mean, we have to set realistic goals. You have to have an outlook as to what it is that you want to make. And then from there, we would decide, okay, what is the best route for you to
Mm-hmm.
take? We do market research as to what industries are actually paying the rate that you want.
Yep.
Um, and then also, I like to look at um, market trends. I'm all about data and looking at what's work, what's trending, and what is, more obsolete. And I also like to look at the future. So I would consider myself a futurist of the market. And a lot of times it's really important to know how you think, how you even think, how you know it's going to change in the future and being ready for that. And that's where I'm positioning myself because right now our infrastructure
Yeah.
in the States are falling apart. And if no one's else is paying attention, I guess I'm the one that's gonna, if I get you in um my space, I would definitely, explain as to why I feel like this is something that's going to be needed versus
Love it.
what's needed right now. And I think positioning yourself in a global market that we're in right now to what is going to be needed. We have like several wars going on right now. We have a lot of people losing life in this world and their
Mm-hmm.
family members. We have a lot of stress. We have people, migrating from Venezuela to the States. We just have a lot that is going on when it comes to the migration and immigration of people, and they're going to need support, and we're going to need people that can support them. When it comes to finances, I feel like they're looking for jobs, but I honestly sometimes err on the side of saying go to corporate. I know it's needed, but I always want people to understand how to be self-sufficient. And that's why I'm starting my own business so that I can then be able to, navigate and help others to
Yeah.
gain the earning potential that they could possibly earn. So some of the things to create balance, abundance in your life is to believe in yourself, right? You have to believe and you have to take a risk on yourself. And you have
Yeah.
to have a compelling story as to why you think someone should buy into your strengths or weaknesses, not your weaknesses, but your strengths as far as how you can make a difference or impact if it's at a nonprofit or if it's at a corporate office or if you're an entrepreneur. You have to be able to sell yourself. It's all about marketing and branding and selling yourself to your audience, and believing that you can do it. The financial abundance aspect, I mean, I'm honestly working on that part as well. So and, it comes with time, and persistence and patience and resilience and just being open to learn what you don't know so that you can then be able to create that abundance within. So it has to do with a lot of things, a lot of different complexities within just career development, personal growth
Yeah.
development, and spiritual development. It has to do with um,
And can I just ask
yes,
you
ma'am.
about, I know you mentioned, things aren't always easy for you, right?
Correct.
And you were able to overcome so much. So, my
Correct.
point is being too, like you could do it if you have the will the power. And, so I commend you on this as well, because you mentioned there was some financial issues as a child in your family, right?
That's absolutely correct. We were definitely disadvantaged financially. I had one, my mother was at home, but she was both my mother and my father because, my father wasn't there. So she had to work several jobs to make ends meet. So I watched her work multiple jobs. And over my course of my career, I've worked multiple jobs at the same time just to make ends meet, just to be able to pay the bills and put a few, things in the refrigerator to eat um, for that week or for that month or what have you. And being on financial support from the government, I've, lived that life my whole entire life. And so now, as a career coach at the current company or nonprofit that I'm working at, I'm actually creating and developing a program to make it so that other people can be self-sufficient too. And given the landscape of some people, there's mental health issues. There are other factors that attribute to someone not having the financial security that they want. And for
Yeah.
me, it was, I don't want to ever feel this way again. It's tied to your emotions. It's tied to how other people perceive you or how you think people perceive you based on the fact that you have or have not money. And so a lot of times I struggled with, just feeling like I belonged anywhere, right? And I also
Hmm.
didn't feel like I could live up to the Joneses or fit in or so it just really being disadvantaged has helped me to want to showcase and show others that you can do it by yourself. I've never been reliant on anyone since leaving my house at 18. I pay for all my college bills. I pay for, my cars. I've never relied on anyone else.
You sound just like me, 110%. Since I was 12 years old, I was working and no one's ever bought me a car, bought me a house, my parents, they didn't have the money. We were, middle class, but I was a third child and it was okay, you pay for college. We don't have the money. And so I commend you on that because it gives you such dedication, appreciation to work hard and it proves it's, you're possible. It doesn't make me jealous of my friends that sometimes had everything. Yes, but then I realized they're different. And I'm so much stronger because of this. And I'm trying to teach my kids the value of a dollar and how to work and how to make money. And so I commend you on this. Yeah.
Thank you, thank you, thank you. Yeah, it's a very rewarding position because I have a lot of success stories, and maybe in our next episode I'll be able to
Yes.
address some of those too.
Oh, would love to. And by the way, there's all the testimonials on the website. Just for example, Michelle has a God-given gift. It's something that comes from her heart, compassion and genuine belief. Go for, but remember that whatever you hear from her is not about what may or may not come to be. It's about interpretation and understanding. Time will tell. It's from 4 to one more. Reagan, absolutely one of my favorite readers. She's always on point with my situation. Not only that, Empress is very funny and personable. Highly recommended. I can only say good things about her, will continue to be a repeat customer. So there are great things. And I would love to hear more client testimonials next time too and talk more about you and what you offer at MB University.
Yes, I definitely do
Exciting,
that.
exciting. So let's also remind everyone on social media where we find you. You're kind of everywhere.
I'm everywhere. Instagram, TikTok, YouTube, my own website. So it's MB Guiding Light across the board. MB Guiding Light. And the
Thank
MB
you.
is very signature for my first and last name. I use it for everything.
Beautiful. Well, thank you for being here, for joining us. Always a pleasure to have you. Remember, dream it, you say believe it, own it. Yeah, you could do it. So thank you for reaching out and having, by the way, people, I want them to reach out to you is what I meant to say. And if they want to, go to the website, mbguidinglight.com. And of course, you could just go to the website, sign up for the email list as well. And how did you want to leave off for your listeners today?
I just want I'll leave with a quote by Mahatma Gandhi. He said, "Be the change you want to see in the world around you." And I think that in order, just like what Michael Jackson said, you have to start with the man in the mirror as far as the changes that you want to see everywhere around you.
Aw, thank you again for being here, for joining us.
Thank you for having me again.
Same here. Looking forward to the next time we connect. Have a fantastic day. And to all of our listeners, the same. Stay tuned. More of the show's coming right up. Bye bye.
Are you looking for even more of the podcasts and hosts that you love? The Podcast Business News Network is proud to announce that you now have even more ways to listen live. Check out the MyTuner Radio, online radio box, and Simple Radio apps on iOS and Android, or find us online. Search for Business News Network on mytuner-radio.com, or search Podcast Business News Network on streama.com and onlineradiobox.com/US. Take your podcast on the go and don't miss a minute of the action.
Broadcasting from the business capital of the world, this is the Podcast Business News Network.
For nearly 2,000 severely injured veterans, everyday life has become filled with barriers.
Day-to-day simple tasks can become pretty daunting.
I have to carry my chair up 2 flights of steps or have somebody do it for me.
What scares me the most is just the falling.
When I'm struggling with my house, I think, to have that one great barrier just knocked down, it's crucial.
Home for Our Troops is a wonderful nonprofit that builds a
mortgage-free, fully adaptive, handicap-accessible house.
And there's no catch.
It'll be our very first home that we've ever owned. This is a game changer.
This is where your life begins again.
We need you to join us in completing this important mission. Please visit hfotusa.org and help build homes and rebuild lives.
Because of you, everything's going to be okay.